I will keep you updated. It says Regold's Dance is live now. Webinar is now streaming live on Facebook. We pulled it off, Miss Jackie. For our listeners, the last couple of nights we've tried to go live, and last night we kind of moved everybody over to Gio's page because we couldn't pull it off. And Jackie and I have been sitting here for a little while. And we even went on early because it felt like we were going to be live. And
we did it.
We did it. I'm so excited to have you with us tonight.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Before we start, I want to say to our viewers and listeners that, you know, dance is the thing that connects us. It's a soul thing that each one of us understands, and that soul is connected. During this time, we can't kick and jump and leap and do all the things that we can do during normal times. But what we can do right now is appreciate that dance is in our soul, and dance is this thing that we share with each other and with students, and use that to be a good leader and a good person within the community who's doing the right things during this tough time. But it's been a really serious week for everybody, and tonight we're going to have some fun with Jackie Sleight. How cool is that? Jackie, again, thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious. I'll start off with this. We'll get some of the emotional stuff out of the way.
Oh, God. Okay.
What are you feeling right now?
Oh, which time of the day are you asking that?
That's why I wanted to ask you the question, because I want everybody to understand we're in the same boat. And by the way, can we—
Without a paddle, go.
Got to do our toast.
Okay, cheers. This is apple juice, maybe.
And what's funny is you notice that she did have more apple juice in there before.
Whatever.
Let's, Jackie, why don't you do a toast for us?
Oh, this is because you did this, Ree, and you're bringing all of us together here so we can laugh and cry and do whatever it is we need to do tonight for a little while.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are you feeling? What are you thinking, honestly?
Oof. Well, every hour of the day, I feel something different for the past few days, for sure. I feel solid and strong and ready, and I can do anything. And then 2 hours later, I will be so depressed and really want to just sit and cry. And then an hour later, I'm dragging around going, come on, pull it together. And so I think I feel pretty normal.
I got it.
Yeah.
I get it. I think everybody does. And
Yeah.
that's why I think we should be getting together like this, because everybody's at homes and they don't necessarily know that, especially their dance friends.
Oof.
We're all in the same boat. It's time to look and see what's the most important thing to us right now. I have another question related to this for you, for our listeners who are running businesses.
Oh, God.
When did you realize, okay, we got a problem here. We're not going to be able to continue with LA Dance Magic. We got to close or cut off. What was that? When?
Yeah. Well, I was just like everyone. I was watching the news and trying to be optimistic about what this might be, because none of us knew, and we just kept hearing night after night. It changed a little bit, but when it really came home was actually our Provo weekend, which was 2 weeks ago. And Provo is different. So it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we were there Thursday afternoon, set up, ready to go, starting competition in the afternoon. And stage up, judges, people there. And 1 hour before we were going to start, we shut it down. And
Really? Wait, so you had an auditorium of people?
Yes.
Or a ballroom full of people?
Yes, yes. And it was a moment in time where we were sick because we didn't know what the right decision was. We were trying to weigh it out. And then we finally said that kids' health was the most important thing. And we had to err on that side. So an hour before we were going to start, we closed it. And it was really hard.
How did the parents react? I mean, were people upset that you made this choice, or did they support it?
I'm sure there were people who were upset, but there were a lot of people, no, most people were grateful because nobody knew really what was really going on. And to have something shut down, it meant something real. And it was right in that moment too, that the governor of Utah had said that in 3 days or in 2 days, whatever that was, he was shutting down events smaller than 100 people. I think it was 100 people. And we said, if he's doing that in 2 days, how can we do this now? How can we live with ourselves? So it was hard. I just didn't want to put the kids' health like.
So what happens? You send people like your faculty home?
Yep. So people went up, Scott Fowler, Eddie Moon. What is this? I don't even know what day this is. That's not good, right? I'd be in Detroit.
It's Saturday night with Jackie Sleight.
There we go. I can remember that. Detroit, that's where I would be. Instead, today I went, all right, everyone, join me. You can do this. I went into my garage and I broke down old cardboard boxes so that I could put them into the recycling. Yes, I did that. I'm cleaning out my garage.
and so, you know what's so interesting about that is how many times, and I'm the same way, have we said, oh, I gotta clean the garage.
I gotta clean that garage out.
It's like, and we never have time. It's the last thing on the list. And
it's horrible. It's horrible.
It's time. It's time. What if I said to you, Jackie, and I'll say this with a smile on my face, that maybe that man, woman upstairs, the higher power, whatever higher power our listeners believe in, told the whole world it's time
to settle down. Maybe. I mean,
it's not like it's me or you. You know, I had somebody when this first started, a dance teacher, say, why me? And I said, wait. This is everybody. You can't even say just your community. This is worldwide. This is why us. And if why us could make you feel better if you go with that attitude, right?
For sure. For sure. It's the craziest thing. And the other day I thought, when I was trying to pick myself up, I thought, wow, in this lifetime, you get to say, and I know this is a little bananas, you get to say that you experienced this thing. Now, do I like it? No. It doesn't make me feel better? Probably not. But
Ooh, hang on one second.
Who's talking to you?
Actually, it was us. I was bringing up the screen to see if I could see if we were having some comments and questions, of which we are. Sorry about that. You talking?
Yeah. So I don't know.
So Jackie, tell our listeners a little bit about Jackie's. Well, first of all, I want our listeners to know this. Jackie didn't start dancing till, was it 18?
18.
I want to talk about that, but I want to hear little Jackie.
Thanks, Reed.
Little Jackie.
Thanks, Reed. Oh my God. What do you want to know?
What was life like? Well, how'd you grow up?
Okay, well, so here's the deal. Oh, excuse me, I have to move the pillow under my chair. Yeah, well, some people know this, and at this point in time, does it really matter? No. I had like an odd upbringing.
What's funny is I know this story already. I'm so happy.
I hate you
Willing
forever.
to share it because I think it's awesome, my friend.
It is awesome. It is awesome. It is awesome. I grew up, I lived in a motel until somewhere around middle school or high school. I'm not sure which, but kitchen, bed, out of the wall, the whole thing in the same room. Yes, I did. And as far back as I can remember. And that's where it was. And my parents had would the word be shady? I'm not sure. Existence. They did what they could to survive.
Describe some of the things that
No.
you mean by
Okay,
that.
so my parents used to abscond with articles out of stores and resell them. Abscond, isn't that a good word?
It is. It's so much better than the other words we could use for that.
Yeah, it is. So though I guess in the kind of funny sense of the word is my parents were pretty much cons. No, true story. And yeah, and it was.
Right. So what was it like growing up? Did you know this?
No.
Were you having a good time?
No, I didn't get any of it. And I grew up an only child. I have an older brother, but he's 20 years older than I am. So I grew up an only child and I didn't know what was going on, except I knew that it was weird. And
Did you school in these hotels? How is that working?
well, I didn't like it. No, not hotels, motels.
Okay, motels. I get it. I know.
Much different, my darling. I will go to a hotel anytime. Yeah, so I do remember at one point, though, 1,000 years ago, I remember being a little girl, and this was kind of a turning point for me. I remember sitting on someone's couch. I don't know who we were visiting. And my mom and dad were talking to them. And I was sitting on this couch with my hands folded across my lap. And I thought, I don't belong here. Clearly, I've been stolen. I did. I thought that. And right. But what stuck with me is I don't belong here. And I was really little, like 8 or 9, like I was little. But I remember that happening. And I remember that thought.
Spend the next 10 years saying, I don't belong here.
I don't belong here. And I was angry at my parents for years and years and years, quite honestly, for the internal stuff that I had about how we lived. We drove across the country selling stolen gas pump nozzles. No one can make that up. Stolen gas pump nozzles.
What made him pick that as?
I don't know. I guess they came off the back of a truck. I don't know. All I know is they were in the trunk of our car, and there we were stopping in gas stations.
Decent living selling these nozzles?
Absolutely. I guess. I don't know. I knew that I thought it was weird. I didn't know what was weird about it. But
traveling fun as a little kid? Like, did you? No,
that's not fun. That was not fun. But I was mad at them for years and years and years, like angry, inside angry at my parents, until a long time later, when I realized how grateful I am for every one of those crazy seconds growing up, because it definitely made me whoever this is now. And you know what else? Yeah, right. And thinking back, they did the best they could. Like, oh, people say they did the best they could. No, they did do the best they could. That was their best.
I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I grew up with passionate parents in dance, but growing up that way, you don't do what the normal kids get to do. And even though I was into the dance thing, I always used to say, how come we don't go to Disney like all these other families do? How come we don't do that. We went to dance competitions. We went to all of those things. And not, yes, when I was younger, that bothered me. But now I look back and it's like I wouldn't change a thing because
Nothing.
I can go to all those places now anytime I want to. And I wouldn't be, like you just said, we wouldn't be the characters, because I think you're a character.
Thank you. Yeah.
The characters we are.
Yep.
If the life wasn't the way it was. And everybody listening, know that about yourselves. Everybody is unique here, like you're a fingerprint. So you don't have to be like anybody else.
You can't. Not one person can be like anybody else. So
tell us, I know it was 18-ish, you started dancing. How did that happen to you?
oh geez. So okay, a lot of people know this story. So I started dancing the end of my senior year in high school. I know, right? So whatever the birthdays fell, I was 18. And my girlfriend talked me into taking modern dance for the last semester instead of some sport. And I thought this was just ridiculous, but I did it anyway. And I thought everyone in there was crazy and this is dumb. But I went in and I looked at her, and she was my best friend. And I looked at her and I said, "What are you wearing?" And she said, "This is what you wear when you really dance." Oh. So she had on a leotard and tights, and I had on gym shorts and a gym shirt. And I said, "Okay, all right." So we were in this class and it was terrible. Okay, really seriously, I wish I had my yearbook right now. There's a picture of me in my yearbook, senior yearbook, because they took a picture of the modern dance class. I'm standing, hanging on to a branch of a tree, hanging with my legs sticking out in the air. Now picture this, your worst 4-year-old, the worst one who just started with sticking their leg in the air. That was me, and hanging from this branch. It's in the yearbook, just saying. Anyway.
Okay, so there was a time when you were like the contemporary modern. Martha Sleight.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my God.
All right, where were we? Go ahead. I interrupted. You were in you're checking out your first dance class.
Oh my God. So she says, "You got to come with me to watch my dance class." And I didn't know what she was talking about. I'd never been, I hadn't grown up that way. I didn't have music lessons or dance lessons. I didn't even know what those places were. So I said, okay, whatever. And I went with her to what was Roland Dupre's first studio, 2 little rooms called in the Coronet Theater. And
the studios were right in the theater?
Yeah, it was, well, the theater was downstairs, and upstairs were 2 like rehearsal rooms that Roland had rented and turned into dance studios.
And was that his first school? Because I remember, yes.
I think it was. Okay. I think it was.
I don't think we'll be in trouble if you're off by a little.
I know, by 10 years.
Go ahead.
So she was taking this class, and she opened a folding chair and set it down in the door so that I could watch. Really? Yeah.
What'd you feel while you were watching, Miss Jackie?
You're doing this to me on purpose because you try to get.
Yeah. I listen. This whole time we're in, it's about being real, my friend.
Totally, it does. Nothing else matters.
And I know how real you are, so that's why you're on this.
That's why I'm always on pins and needles, Ree, because I'm. So there we were. Dance class started. They were doing some exercises. I didn't know what they were doing. And then the teacher puts on this weird music, and they start to do this combo, and people are dancing around. And honestly, I don't know what the feeling was. I still don't know what the feeling was because it was so overwhelming, and I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know anything.
Describe it.
Oh God. It was confusion, excitement, anxiety, love, fear. Only honestly, in the moment, I didn't know what those words were. I didn't have words for it. In that moment, and that's because growing up, I hadn't learned those words. So when I was sitting there, I didn't know what I was feeling, because I didn't have a word for any of it. But I do know that I just sat there crying and crying and crying. And when I left, all I thought was, I don't know how, I just have to learn how to do what that is. And that was the end. And I was sitting in that chair in the door, and that was that.
And what happened after that? Were you dancing right away?
Immediately. So I went back to school, and I was in this crazy modern dance / PE class, taking it very seriously now.
Martha Sleight Graham.
Totally.
And Graham.
Yep.
Martha
Graham. And then I immediately started taking classes at Dupre's, and I was terrible. I obviously I was terrible. I'd never had a dance class in my life, but I was older, so I'm in adult classes.
How long did it take you to get into the more advanced levels or intermediate or
I don't remember, but I do remember it, everything moving at warp speed.
Really?
Yeah, because I knew I didn't have time.
That's what I was going to ask you. So
yeah,
let's say that first dance class, how long was it before you either did your first gig dancing or whatever? Like, was it in a year? Like, how long?
Maybe it was 2 years, maybe. But
Really?
you know what, in that process, in that time period right in there, and I actually can't tell you like exactly how long, but I moved out from my parents after I graduated.
From the motel?
Well, we lived in an apartment then, so it was really cool. 2 bedrooms. And I moved out, and I had been working all summer. I moved out at the end of the summer after my senior. I'd been working all summer, and I earned enough money to buy a car. Now, let me explain this to you. It was a 1967 lime green Carmen Ghia. And if you know what that is, it's a flat Volkswagen. Okay, so.
Flat Volkswagen?
Yeah, Carmen Ghias were Volkswagens.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to be looking for a flat Volkswagen.
I'm going to get one again. That's all I know. Yes, it's going to happen. But so I had my car, and I moved away, and I lived in this apartment for a few months, and then I couldn't afford that, because who could afford anything? And I was working part-time as a waitress, and I was trying to go to school, and I was working in an advertising agency, and I was taking dance classes. And you wonder, when were you sleeping? That part I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah. And I was working at an advertising agency, Batten, Barton, Durstein, and Osborne. No, that's real. BBDO, one of the biggest advertising agencies in the world. And I was like, Batten, Barton, Durstein, and Osborne. Yeah. And doing nothing, taking messages with a paper, and pencil. And one day we were on the 19th floor of this building on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, big, fancy. And I looked out the window, and I thought, I can't be in here anymore. I can't be in here. So I called who used to own American School of Dance. His name was Eugene Loring. And a lot of people know, not a lot of people, but anyone of my age will know, he choreographed the ballet Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
So he owned American School of Dance in Los Angeles. And I went there, and that's where I was taking ballet badly, but I was going there. And I said, I can't do this anymore, and I need help. So he let me work behind the desk to pay for my classes. And sometimes I would sleep on the couch in the library instead of in my car. Yeah.
What was the first professional gig you did? Well, what you thought was your first. Because I know we all did kind of, they may
Okay.
not.
It was a show, and I remember this. It was a show called Get Down. That's right, Get Down. And we went to Mexico. And I remember going to Joe Train, because I was assisting him at the time. Thank you. And signing people in, and then they would go into class. And I sat on a bench outside his class signing people in. That it was so non. And I went up to Joe and I said, I got my first job. And this was like a highlight to me. And he goes, and this is true. He says to me, and I'll never forget it. He goes, "You're going to work all the time now."
Really?
And I remember that. Okay. Okay. So that was huge. That was huge. You know, something he doesn't know that he said to me though. I was, whatever I was ample in size. Ample?
What
I
does
don't
that mean?
Anyway, substantial. I was okay. I was healthy.
You were healthy. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, and I remember being an idiot and going up to him and saying, "What can I do? You know, what can I do?" And he goes, "Go lose 10 pounds."
Really?
Yeah,
And you did.
yeah. Well, he said.
I don't think you're ample now. I think you're perfect.
Okay, thanks. Uh-huh.
I want to ask you this since you brought it up, because all of our listeners, or the majority, are going to know him. And I'm trying to get him to do this with me, get him to go live. What is Joe Tremaine in your life? How did he influence you?
Well, he's one of my, I guess I will take the, should I take the, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, this age. I'll take the freedom of saying he's my friend. He's definitely my friend, and I'm definitely his friend now. And he supported me emotionally, artistically, and financially. Yeah. And now he didn't give me anything. He didn't give me anything because
He made you work here.
that's exactly right. Yep. So if I wanted the classes, I cleaned his apartment. True story. And I didn't have to. I got to.
Wow.
Whoa, right?
I say it that way because you realize that I know we're older than some of the people listening, but so many people would say I had to clean it.
If I didn't get to do that, I wouldn't have been able to pay for class.
For those listening, that was a pearl of wisdom right there.
Yeah, I'm grateful forever. I mean, he taught me more. Okay. You want a terrible story? This is funny.
Go. Terrible.
So
Why not?
Okay. So someone wanted to do some interview about me, which like, whatever. And okay. So they asked Joe Tremaine some questions and he said, and it's down forever in some magazine somewhere. I buried mine. He goes, "She wasn't the best dancer." Thanks. But she was the best student. And I didn't know whether to be happy or really sad.
Well, now maybe he's listening and I'll ask him what he meant by that one.
I take that as a compliment.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
No matter what my ego feels.
We'll leave it at that. So, Jackie, one of the ways that I became aware of you was Sleight Touch, Star Search. How did that happen? That was, you won many, did you win the whole?
Yes, the kids, yes, winners.
Yes.
We won the big trophy.
I was on it. I was not a winner. Rennie and I were on it. We did one show. Do you remember Eddie and Lisa? I know.
Yes.
Eddie and Lisa were the ones who beat us. And we were coming in a vehicle, a car that they had sent for us. And some guy turned around and he looked at us and he goes, "Oh, you boys are so cute. You know you're up against Eddie and Lisa, right?"
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Yeah, and Eddie and Lisa won, and they won, I think, like 10. For those who are older, you might remember Eddie and Lisa.
They know Eddie and Lisa.
They were very, but everything was at the time. What was the Solid Gold?
Yeah, remember that?
Gold. Okay,
Yeah.
I interrupted.
Okay.
Tell me about Sleight Touch.
Oh, geez. Well, before I had those kids on not Solid Gold. Before I had those kids on Star Search, there was a group called a Sleight Touch. Okay, this is lame. So 1,000 years ago, I was in a disco act. If anyone remembers the word, I was in a disco act that Roland had choreographed. And actually we were called Dance Power. That's true. Dance power. Don't laugh.
No, I'm not laughing. I don't know. My head went to, I think I remember that.
Oh my God. Okay. So we danced in a club. It was very cool then to be in an act. So I thought, I'm cool. And we danced in a club called Destiny 2, which later became Chippendales. Okay. All right. Okay. But so there we were. And I was there one night after we had performed for our 3-week gig, whatever it was. And the owner's standing there and I'm watching the next act, like judging, because, I was like 20. So I'm going to judge.
I got it.
I'm going to judge you. And the owner comes up to me. I was like 22. Oh yeah, I could judge because I'm 22. Anyway, so he comes up, he goes, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need a new act in 2 weeks. And I said, I've got one.
Did you?
I had never choreographed one step in my life. Nothing, 0 steps. But that's kind of how I've done this whole, I don't know. That's how I've kind of done everything. I don't know. So I actually went to Roland's studio. I went to Roland, went running to Roland. And did you hear my feet on the floor just then? I went running just now. Okay. I went running to Roland. I said, oh my God, what have I done? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, in his Roland way. And he takes a record off of his shelf. Record.
I remember. And for those listening, what it is a big CD.
Very big. Takes a record and pulls me up to one of the studios, hands me the record, opens the door and shoves me in the room. I'm looking at him like, what is happening? And he says to me, go.
I mean, it was what, just locking you in a room or something?
Yeah, you need to act in 2 weeks. Ready? Go.
How'd you feel at that moment?
I was dumbfounded, but I knew if he's not going to help me, no one's helping me. So I went over to the record player. I put this record on that he gave me, and I used that for the show that I put together in 2 weeks.
Just out of curiosity, what was that music? Do you remember?
It was, yes, I remember. It was, I want to say it was Les Brown and his Band of Renown. Nobody remembers that but me. Please, is there anyone out there who knows that? Okay, Les Brown. And I did this 20-minute act in 2 weeks with these other girls. And there you go. And then we started. Huh?
And so then from there, what'd you do? Just audition for Star Search and there you were? Were you
that was way later. That was way later.
And were you a dancer in Sleight Touch, or was it a group that you choreographed?
Both. So sometimes I danced. Now, like in the beginning, I danced, and then I didn't, and I just had a group of girls and a guy or two, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just kept booking gigs. We traveled everywhere. We went to Japan. We went to the Philippines. We went to Mexico. And I was I didn't know what I was doing. And we just kept going. I remember one day thinking, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for all these people. And you are barely, I do nothing.
I want to give you a compliment because I know you say I didn't know what I was doing. You have done one hell of a good job for a person who constantly says, I don't know what I'm doing. You have done really, really well. So know that about yourself, my friend.
I'm working on it.
I want to ask you this. How did LA Dance Magic, how did that happen?
Ooh, that's deep. Because you want the real story, or can I make something up? You want the real story?
I think everybody's open to the real story.
Before it was LA Dance Magic, it was LA Underground.
I remember that.
Yeah. And right when I started that, I had taught on Dupre's convention, and then I taught on Tremaine's convention for several years. And the day that I went to talk to Joe, and nobody was doing this at that moment in time, like there weren't conventions. it was a few dance masters and Tremaine, Danny Hochter.
Art
And so,
Stone. I like
remember Art Stone,
you gotta
remember?
say his name, one of my
Yes,
best
please.
friends.
Yes. And so I remember going to him, and it was the hardest day of my life because he gave me everything. I mean, he made me work for it, but in essence, he laid it out. And if I was willing to work hard enough to take it, I could take it. And I remember telling him I was going to do this. And it was the worst day of my life. For sure, because I thought, how can you do this? And I said to him, there's already a you. And if I don't do this, this is the only spot there is for me to stand in, is over here. And I remember that, and still cry about it. Now, thank goodness, he's one of my best friends. And if he called me and said, get in your car this minute, I would get in my car this minute. And that's what would happen.
I love the relationship you have with him.
Go.
A few years ago, one of the biggest honors in my life was Industry Dance Awards with you and Joe Tremaine up there presenting that award to me. I was like, wow, two legends there. And to see you two together, and I know because we've had events where both of you are together, the admiration that you have for each other is something that I appreciate and sets a great example for the rest of the dance community.
I'll never be able to pay him back.
I understand that. But we can all keep trying. So,
exactly.
So Miss Jackie, you probably have a lot of dance teachers who are also studio owners listening. You're a business owner.
Ugh, hold on.
Strong woman. Give us some words of wisdom at this time, or encouragement. What do you feel?
Sure. That whole we're all in the same boat thing, it's so lame, but I don't know what to say other than that. I think, and this is what I was, for some crazy reason, I have been so up and down in just the last few days, just solid, strong. I've got this. The next hour, so depressed. The next hour, laughing. Like the next hour, what am I going to do? I've been everywhere. I did say, but I have a team. It's this big. I call her my Katie, you know. Anyway, so
that's your team.
That's my team. My Katie, Dave, and Matt. That's my team. And another, I don't know. So we decided we just stop for 1 minute so that you can think, because no one could think, and we needed to consciously stop. Not stop because we were, because we couldn't move. Stop because we chose to, for just 1 minute, stop and think about what to do. And I mean, the question has been posed to me, what are you going to do? What would happen? Blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to keep going, not in a bad way, in a good way. Here's what you have to do. Here's the only way to keep going. Do the right thing.
I'm with you.
If you do the wrong thing, you're done. You're done. And please understand that I know that there's a whole bunch of people who want to say, because everyone's panicked and paralyzed, that they're saying, oh, easy for you to say, right? Easy for you to say, I only have 150 kids. I only have 70. I only have 200. No, nothing's easy for me to say. And it's all relative.
And I want to jump in now because
God, jump.
In our dance community, we have to support each other. Here's how I'm going to go on what the subject that you said. When all of this started, I started to get emails from people, and they would say, and it wasn't a lot, because I think most people are going to think what I'm about to say. But some people writing to me and saying, hey, do you think, how do I go about getting the costume companies to refund my money? They're probably going to keep my money. How do I get the competitions to refund my money? They're probably going to want to keep my money. And that was in 48 hours.
Mhm.
And in reality, I stopped. I said, imagine if all of your students right now called you for a refund.
Yeah.
Would you know what to do? Would you be able to refund the money? Every company has employees and is working their butt off to do the best that they can. In our society right now, no business, whether it's a dance business, an accounting business, any business knows what the future holds.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to just wait a little while, because if we pull the bricks from this structure,
It's going to fall down.
yeah,
I'm on a positive note.
it's a pretty serious discussion, but you know what?
No, we need to have it. We need to have it. And I'll talk about that. I have input there. But on a positive note,
No.
I know I have been in contact on the phone, not just me reaching out, other people reaching out to me. All the conventions, all the competitions are reaching out to each other and saying, how are you doing? What are you doing? How are you going to? What does this mean? And I'm so grateful right now. Okay, don't cry, Jackie. Not one, and I'm talking, these are people who have tons of students coming to their conventions. Not one has said anything to be selfish or hurtful or do something for themselves and no one else. Not one. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it made me feel like, oh gosh, we're going to get through this. We're going to figure this out.
We are gonna get through it, and the only way to get through it is for us to live with the but okay, before, what do we call this, a pandemic?
Yeah.
Before pandemic, we kind of had the attitude that, this is capitalism and we all got to fight our own battle and focus on what's good for us. And I'm not saying we're not going to continue with capitalism here.
Of course.
I think it's changed. I think the only way for us to survive is that we unite as a dance community. Jackie, if I can go somewhere, I want to say this to you. And maybe it's because I just finished my martini that I want. For like I think it was like 1996, I have been preaching that it wasn't the steps that we taught, that it was the feeling that a person has when they dance, that the caliber or the technical level achieved by a dancer wasn't what made us a success. I feel like in this time where we're at right now, it's almost like it's coming true.
Yes.
Oh, wow. What was that? Not a perfect timing on that ding?
I know, ding, that was an angel. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his.
I mean it. I think, and we might have some viewers who
Are mad at us right now?
Yeah, but not yet. It doesn't matter if you were the super titanium winner anymore. I don't know if it really ever did, or if you were the best school in the country. Yes, those are things that we work to achieve, and there are personal goals and goals that we set or our students set for themselves and we help them to achieve. Right now, it doesn't matter.
No.
And it may never matter again if we have the right attitude.
The thing is, all those metals, super titanium, super duper titanium, they were there as carrots in front of the kids to get them to work. I would, and it makes sense to me. When you're 8 years old, I want to do something so that I can earn that present. You know, I get it. When they're a little older, I think the bigger prize is the feeling of finding something that is so much bigger than yourself and gives you a feeling that nothing else can. We're so lucky, and it makes us crazy. This feeling that I have about dance makes me crazy because I can't explain it to people. But I'd rather have this feeling than a trophy.
Me too. And please don't think that
No.
you or I mean, I was a competition director, you have competition.
Yeah, I love it.
It is not, because I want to make sure that we don't create any controversy.
I know.
It's not saying stop competing.
No,
Whether
not
there's
at all.
no value to it, but let's reassess that the joy can come from the kid with disabilities or the 12-year-old who does a shuffle ball change for the first time, and that could be as good as winning Jackie Slight's high score choreography award. That both of those things could be equal.
Yep. The reason, okay, here, am I putting myself out of business right
No,
now?
I have a funny feeling that
I don't care. I'm stuck in my house.
we're now getting into some topics that some people will disagree with. So I'm going to say this.
It's okay.
We need to respect each other's opinions. And once we can listen to people's opinions and not reject them right away, we can become smarter people. Okay, let's stay happy and fun. Go.
Okay, go. I love competition by Jay Sleight. I love competition because how many places do these kids have to dance? They don't. They have a recital. Maybe a few of them go down to the mall or at the farmer's market. Competition has given the kids a stage and something to look forward to. This performance means something to them. I love that. And otherwise they wouldn't get to do it. And I'm not saying it's the only place. What I'm saying is it's an opportunity for them to perform. That's one of the reasons that I like it. I don't put any less or any more value on it than is there. I love it because the kids get to get up there. And if they're having fun, I really don't care.
And I'll add, if I can, I'll add to it. And you're going to agree with this because you have been on this convention circuit for a long time. The caliber of the teacher choreographer and the ability to train a technically strong dancer is far superior to what it was 20 years ago. And that is a direct result of competition.
I can't believe what they do. I can't believe what they're doing. I've never in my life been able to dance like that. Like the juniors come out and I think, well, I feel like poo. That's great. Good for you. I've never been able to do what they can do. It's amazing. And
how cool is that?
It's amazing.
Couldn't we just look and say to ourselves, dance teachers, school owners, look how far I've come as a teacher. Look how far I've come as a choreographer. And I want to add this because I don't know that we think about it all the time. look how far I've come as a mentor and a leader to young people. Ooh, we got really earthy crunchy here.
Woo! Yeah,
Let's
that was a lot.
cool it down a little, and I'm done with this, so I can't.
You know,
I want to ask you the question that I asked you a couple of years ago that made me think that the best interview that I ever did in my career was with you. Jackie Sleight,
oh God.
what is dance?
Marie Gold. I remember this question. Thank you very much because and I remember the answer I gave you.
You remember it?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
do.
that was like
It was a
7
big
or 8
deal.
years
That
ago.
was a
Maybe
big
more,
deal.
10 years ago. I don't know. Time goes faster now. Did you notice that? Just
My
like,
son explained that to me. I'll tell you all about it.
right.
No, there's a real thing. Anyway, I can't remember yesterday, but I remember that question. And because I was so shocked and awed that you were coming to talk to me.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, I was.
That's a true story. I'm not kidding. You never knew that, did you? I was like, oh my God, Marie Gold is coming here. Talk to me. Why? I did.
And I was nervous walking in the door to talk to you.
So lame. We're so lame.
And wait, I want to tell you something. That was like this project I worked on called Dance Life TV.
Yeah.
One of the most memorable things. I traveled around the country in a motorhome and did all of that. Lost my shirt. Investment. But I have to tell you, for people who are listening, sometimes you lose your shirt on an investment that creates memories that last a long, long time. And it was worth it. Meeting people like you and the people I met traveling around the country. So anyway.
Oh gosh. I was trying to get you off.
What is dance, Miss Jackie?
What is dance? Okay, so I remember saying that, and I remember specifically, I remember all of it. I remember saying that dance is what can make anything possible. And that was a huge statement. And after I said it and you went away, I thought about it so much. And I thought, I wonder what people are going to hear when they listen. I wonder what they're going to hear. And hopefully everyone hears what they need to hear. And for me, I was blessed in that moment in the doorway. Dance took me off of sitting on the couch with my hands folding, thinking, I don't belong here. I belong someplace else. Dance is what did that. Dance is what gave me emotions and finally words for the emotions. Dance is what introduced me to my very best friends in my life. Dance, even in the times when people don't understand what I'm doing and they don't agree with what I'm doing, it's what lets me connect to some kid that I don't even know, who maybe I said something. So it is what makes anything possible. And I'm forever grateful for it and for that. And it's not that I love dance. I do. I also respect it. And I am in debt. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank
you.
You're awesome, my friend. And
Huh?
I'm going to ask you in front of all of these people who are listening.
God.
Can we make a date for next Saturday night? I sounded like a Bostonian Yankee there. For next Saturday night? Saturday night, and we do Saturday with Jackie Sleight again next week.
Really? Okay. Oh my gosh, can I say something? We came to Boston this year for the first time. Best time ever. I was terrified. I actually told, okay, this has nothing to do with what you were just saying
But
about
I
me.
want to tell you something because we have some Boston listeners who, when I put this up on the page, those Boston listeners are your biggest fans. They were
No,
Daddy
I was,
Eisenhower, some of the different people. They
I
were,
love
I
them.
can't believe it. That's great. You made an awesome.
I was scared to flipping death
Why
because
would you be into
yes, I'm not even kidding. I told them, I was honest with them. I said, I'm scared because they know a lot. Like, it's not that other people don't, but there's this thing about Boston. I thought, how I can't go there. It's true. I was shaking in my boots. Well, I didn't wear boots, but I was shaking. I
They
was,
love you. They
oh,
love you. And let me say something about the Boston dance community. And I'm not even going to narrow it to Boston. The New England dance community is a unique community. In the majority of cases, or the majority of time, we love each other. We support each other.
I didn't know until I went.
It's not, people can't believe how we go to dance competitions and sit next to each other and compliment each other, and here there's some of us are in the same town, the same community, and people look like judges come in and go, how can
How
this,
are you friends?
we just been at this a long time, we love each other, why can't I look, this is a statement I make a lot. Do you know that you can be good and other people can be good too? It's simple words.
Yes.
But it's the truth. And once
Does it make you less good?
No, it doesn't make you any less good. Wow, I love talking to you tonight.
Oh, this was so fun. Oh, this was so fun.
I don't want it to end, but we got to let it end. We are, I'm committing Jackie Sleight to next Saturday night.
This could be really okay. All right.
We're gonna, who knows when this is over, we'll come out on the other side with our own show on.
Okay, there you go. See?
I love it. Think positive.
Yep.
Dance teachers and other friends, dance lovers, we're in it together. And tonight's a night that we are smiling, happy, and let's take a breath tomorrow on Sunday and jump back in and tackle the life that we have to create for ourselves on Monday. But I think it's time for everybody to chill out a little. You agree, Miss Jackie?
Good idea. Absolutely.
Awesome.
We got this. We got it.
We got this. And we're going to get smarter and better and closer and
Yep.
okay. I love you, Miss Jackie.
I love you, Mr. Ree.
Have a
I'll
good
talk to you.
years.
Okay. Bye.